All right, Mark. Mark, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
Crystal Lake, Illinois.
Crystal Lake. Tell me about your family growing up.
Family was great. Good upbringing. Mom and dad were awesome. I got everything that I ever wanted.
You had siblings?
I got 2 sisters and a brother.
And you tell me about your what do you call it on your face?
It's called Neurofibromatosis. It's a genetic disease that I got from my father.
Your dad had it?
Yes, but he had just little bumps all over his body. I got the worst case scenario of it.
And this was something you were born, like it showed up when you were born?
Yes. It showed up as capital A marks, and if you have more than 7, that means you have the genetic disorder.
But I think you told me you were born normal.
Yes, and then doctor did surgery to remove a little lump on the right eye, which hit a nerve, and it made it expand.
Oh, I see. And it grew and got larger?
Grew, yes.
How did that affect your childhood?
Growing up was hard. I was bullied most of my childhood years until about high school, when kids started to mature. Kind of got a little bit easier for me, but elementary, junior high was really rough. I got called One-Eyed Willie. I got called One Eye. They made fun of me from the movie Goonies.
What does that do to a young man?
A lot of depression that resorted to doing drugs to cope with the bullying. It made me feel better. A lot of self-harm.
Did you have friends when you were a kid?
A group of friends that weren't the greatest friends. They were in the wrong crowd. Gangs.
And the drug use started at what age?
About 7th grade. Started smoking pot and drinking. Then as I got into high school, I started doing harsher drugs.
How old are you now?
I am 42.
42. How far did you go in school?
High school?
You graduated?
Yes.
What you've had jobs?
Yes. Mostly factory jobs. It's still rough trying to find a job with the way you look. People still discriminate against you. And then with a criminal background, it's also harder to find a job.
What kind of criminal?
Drug use, domestics, and then dealing drugs.
Was it just as difficult as an adult as it was as a kid for you?
Yes and no.
In what ways?
Like I said, I'd go fill out a job for a job interview. People would look at me. They would second guess first the way it looked, and then with the criminal background, that's what made it harder.
What does this do to you emotionally? You get depressed just knowing that this is your fate? You're going to have to deal with this the rest of your life?
Yes.
Which is what leads to the drug use?
Correct.
Have you had relationships?
Yes. After high school, I had a few girlfriends, and I ended up marrying my childhood girlfriend and had 2 kids with her, twins, boy, girl.
And you're still married?
No, I'm separated.
It must be difficult for you to have hope for your future, I assume?
Correct. I'm a little self-conscious going out to try to meet somebody because of the way I look. But once I get past that, I think that I'm a good person inside.
Yeah, I'm sure how does this impact you inside? I mean, like who Mark is as a person, how does this affect you as a human being?
I just wish I looked like everybody else.
You can see that you're handsome. Your face is handsome except for this
Deformity, yes.
deformity, yeah. And you can't really remove it.
No, I've had about 6 surgeries, and every time, excuse me, do the surgery, it would go down, but then it keeps coming back. So I stopped, because I don't like getting put out, and I just figured, what's the point if it's just going to keep coming back?
And even if you try to get clean, I assume at some point what this does to you emotionally makes you want to relapse?
Correct, but I've done my recovery program. I'm currently in recovery right now, and I have too much to lose if I go back to my drug use. I have my health, I have my kids, my family.
Do you have a good relationship with your kids?
Yes, really good relationship with my kids.
That's great. And have they inherited this?
No, but they do accept their father. They're not embarrassed to go out with their father. They love their father very much.
That's great. What is the hardest part of living with this?
Just going out in public, people staring, it kind of gets annoying, but then you get used to it.
What kind of reactions have you had?
The deer in headlights, like the pointing, like talking under your breath.
It's going to make you feel very alone.
Yes, but then, you know, you get used to it, you get over it.
Having a romantic relationship, was that, there must be something you long for. We all long for that.
Yeah, I'm a lot happier when I have that companionship.
Yeah. And now that that's gone, do you hold on to hope for another one perhaps one day?
Yes, or I hope that I could reconcile with my ex-wife after she gets to overcome the issues that she has right now.
She has drug issues as well?
Yes.
Mm.
And I can't keep clean unless she's staying clean.
What is your drug?
Crack cocaine?
Crack. And using crack helped you just numb the feelings from all this?
Yes, numb the pain.
Yeah. Is your family, your parents, are they still around?
My dad deceased, I think in 2003. My mom's still around.
But your parents were good with you?
Yes, I had an excellent upbringing.
Yeah, that helps. What advice would you give to somebody who has something like this, or something that they're going through that makes their life difficult?
Just be who you are. God gave you a life on this earth. As long as your health is happy, you know, just be who you are. Don't let other people think differently of you.
Are there women, let's say, who can see past that and,
Yes.
and see who you really are?
Yes,
That's got to be a wonderful feeling.
it is. A great feeling.
You've seen therapists about this?
Yes. I'm also on depression medication to help with the depression problem and the PTSD that I have from growing up.
The dreams you had as a young man, that all that stuff gets impacted by this, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I thought if I looked normal, I could have went a lot further in life.
How do you look at it? Do you see it as you just had some bad luck? Some genetic bad luck?
Yeah.
What's been the most difficult time of your life? Childhood or now as an adult?
Childhood was the most difficult part, but as I got older to try to succeed, that's been difficult, but I also realized it was part of my drug addiction.
Yeah, that complicates things.
Correct.
When you were a kid, were there friends or people that were in your class that saw through this and really?
Yes, I had a couple good best friends growing up.
That's great.
Yeah. They accepted me for who I was.
Yeah, that's what we really all need to do for each other, isn't it?
Exactly. All you need is those few good friends. You don't need a whole crowd, you know, to be popular.
I'm sure living with this gives you insights into just living amongst other people and on this planet. What kind of things do you think you've gained from going through what you're going through?
More self-confidence about myself.
I can see that.
And just, I am who I am.
And you end up valuing the things that are important.
Yes.
Probably.
Like, there's other kids that, you know, are missing legs, missing hands, worse looking than me. kids that are stuck in wheelchairs, can't talk.
Yeah. What would you say is your greatest strength?
My personality.
Just being able to help others, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. What's been the lowest point of your life? What's been the most difficult time?
My drug addiction.
How tough did your situation get?
I was addicted to pain pills for 10 years, and then I got clean on pain pills, then I got addicted to crack cocaine for another 10 years. So now is my longest point in sobriety is 4.5 months that I am today for all my life. Since I started doing drugs at a low age.
What's your biggest regret?
Yes, a lot of regret.
What would you say is your biggest regret?
My biggest regret? Not finishing school all the way past high school, getting into a trade. Instead, I decided to just party my way through the rest of my life after high school.
Were there times where you just like, it felt difficult to apply yourself and keep digging, which life requires?
Yes, because I'd rather, go out, have my fun, do my drugs, and not be the man that I was supposed to be.
Forget about your pain?
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, it must be a wonderful feeling when somebody really can see who you really are behind this.
Right. It's once they got to know me and got to know my personality and how I treated them, then they accepted me for who I was.
And the connection must be really, really something special.
Right, but it's also hard to get that connection, to get your foot in the door, and for them to, get to know you and get past the way you look.
Yeah, you can't really go on a dating app and expect anything.
No, I tried that and it did not work. No replies.
Yeah.
I was in and out of mental facilities all my life.
Oh, really?
Due to attempted suicides.
When you were a young kid or when you were an adult?
As I was an adult. Because it just being alone and then dealing with, not being accepted caused me to hurt myself, self-destruct. And then I got diagnosed with bipolar 1, which then they put me on medication and it helped me, live life, a better life. Not flipping out all the time and not knowing why you're flipping out.
You've been clean now for how long?
4 months.
4 months. And how is your mood?
I feel great. I haven't felt this good in my life. Like, I'm attentive. I smile more. I laugh more.
That's always a great indicator of
it is.
mental health.
Because when I was doing drugs, all it did was numb my pain. And I was, not as active with my kids, not as active with the man that I wanted to be. I would go to work, come home, get high, play with my kids a little bit, and then...
The love of your kids must be great.
I love my kids to death.
They don't see what's on your face. They just see what's inside your heart.
Exactly. Like, my kids were never neglected, never around anything. But that's the greatest success in my life is my kids.
How old are they?
13. I have twins, boy, girl.
Mm-hmm.
They mean everything to me. But I don't think if I didn't have my kids, I wouldn't be here. My kids make me want to live every day.
And you're living where now?
At a recovery home.
You're in a sober living place?
Yes.
How long will you be there?
Until I'm ready to leave. So I'm wanting to be there for at least 6 more months.
Is there a situation or environment or job or anything that would really help you with your mental state?
Yes, once I start working again.
Just being employed helps, right?
Oh, yes, because it keeps me busy, keeps my mind off of things.
Keeps you from getting in trouble.
Exactly. Versus sitting home at the recovery home, just going to your meetings, coming home, sitting down, waking up the next day, going to your meetings.
Trying not to get depressed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because I go to AA meetings at least 5 to 6 times a week. That helps me through my sobriety, hearing other people's stories and what other people has went through. And they are very accepting for who I am. Like, it's like a big family.
Yeah, having others to share your stories with is
A big help.
very
And people
therapeutic.
benefit from my stories too. What I went through.
When I got older, I was working in a convenience store, and a doctor came in and he asked me why I was working, and I told him, well, I need to make a living. And then he asked me, why didn't you try to go sue for the doctor's mistakes? And I told him that I didn't know I could, and then when I tried, I was too late of the statute of limitations law.
What would you say is the most important thing you've learned from having this deformity? It's a very unique situation you've got. You know, it's there aren't a whole lot of people you can compare yourself to and say, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
No, there's not.
You're like one of a kind.
Yep, because it's all judgmental.
And is your right eye is functional? It works, or is it?
No, I got probably like 10% vision because the lid being closed all the time.
Yeah.
It's not painful. It used to be painful until the surgeries happened. They took the nerves out, so the pain would subside.
Is it a growth, or what do you call it?
It's a fibroma.
A fibroma. Was it larger at one point?
Yes, it's a benign tumor.
So they reduced its size.
Yes, it was dramatically bigger.
Really?
I was just tortured, like literally tortured. Growing up,
Like all the kids would just pick on you?
like it was an everyday thing. I'd go to school, and especially junior high, it was like every day I was getting picked on. There was not a day went by through 6th, 7th, and 8th grade that it wasn't an everyday thing. And I never thought about hurting kids. You know, I could get these kids that get made fun of, and they go shoot the school up and hurt other kids. Kids are gonna be kids. I just didn't let it bother me. But then it did bother me, but I just coped with doing drugs.
You never retaliated or did anything violent
No.
back?
I never even told. Like, I'd come home and tell my parents, and that was it.
Mm.
Never told the teachers because they didn't do anything anyways.
When you're by yourself, sometimes you just think, like, why me?
Yes. Why me? And then I'd self-harm a little bit. But yeah, it was just why me? Why did I get stuck like this?
Do you believe in God?
I'm starting to. I didn't believe in God for the longest time because why would you put me on earth like this? But then going through the recovery program, going to your higher power, I'm starting to believe in God. And then I have a really good childhood friend that is getting me into believing in faith, and I'm starting to actually enjoy it.
And that helps you?
Yes. Now it's been, because once I started going to church with them and believing in God, good things have started to happen for me. I got clean. I'm going to be getting an apartment hopefully soon. My kids, my family back together. So yeah, once God came in the picture, it started to get a little bit better.
Mm. You certainly deserve a nice break here and there, don't you?
Yeah, but I did it to myself because of the drug use.
Because of the drug use?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that if I wasn't so far into the drug use, I could have went farther. But the drugs held me back.
Was there anyone in your life that was really very helpful and supportive, and like your parents or anybody like that?
My mom and my dad especially. And then I had two good friends that were very supportive of me. Like, they would defend me and stick up for me when I was getting bullied.
That's great.
Yes. But then when I got older, in my 20s, when I went to the bars and stuff, everybody loved me. Like, everybody accepted me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Like, there was this one certain bar that I just would attend to all the time, and they all knew me when I walked in.
And once they get to know you and know what you're all about, then it becomes much easier to...
Exactly. Like, it's just getting to know me. Like, I'm a very good guy. I treat you good. I respect people. As long as you respect me, I'm going to give you that same respect back.
Yeah, that's really what it's all about, isn't it?
It's all about respect, I think. You got to give respect to earn the respect.
All right, Mark, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
I wish you lots of luck from whatever you do from here on.
Thank you.
Thanks.